can already hear somebody say, hey, never. Once beaten, twice shy. You do it once, you're going to do it again. I'm out. If you are the person who has cheated, if you are the person who has broken trust, auntie, uncle, don't go and be raising shoulder. You messed up. Your wife is hurt. Your husband is hurt. Every believing marriage is supposed to model the relationship between Christ and the church. The posture of the one who has broken trust shows a lot. You don't want to be that partner who has broken trust at such a deep level. This is deep because you're now in a covenant. You've had kids together. You've bonded emotionally. This person has made financial sacrifices for you. This person has made spiritual investment sacrifices for you. And then in one accidental fall, you cheat on them. You know, sometimes, God forbid, in the mighty name of Jesus, if for whatever reason, my husband is in that situation, will I be hurt? Of course. Will I be a bit confused? Yes. Will I ask questions? Yes. Will I cry? Yes. But am I going to leave? All right, hi, how you doing? Hope you are good. My name is Tojiolo Atoimbo, and I'm the marriage counselor, relationship coach you did not know you needed until you watched this video. All right, today we are talking about something very sensitive. And disclaimer, I don't have all the answers, and I don't know that I will cover all the grounds or answer all the questions or hit all the spots. It's supposed to be a 10-minute video, but I'm going to share what I think are basics and fundamentals. Maybe you can build on them, but fundamentals to deal with in this situation. So what are we talking about today? Can I reconcile with my partner after infidelity? Whether it's infidelity in a relationship or infidelity in marriage. I can already hear somebody say, hey, never. Once beaten, twice shy. You do it once, you're going to do it again. I'm out. Honestly, I can't tell you to stay. I know infidelity is such a painful betrayal. It's so personal. It's a lot. And it's a lot to ask someone to stay in that situation if they don't have certain understandings. I don't know if understanding is the real word, but yeah, is understanding a real word? Should I reconcile? I mean, off the top of my head, without going into the point yet, especially if it's in a relationship, I think you have a lot more leeway to say, yo, I'm not doing this. I did not sign up for this. Let me go. But as a counselor, I'll tell you that I've counseled people who in a relationship experienced that. And through a process, they've been able to get married and are having a thriving marriage. Okay? There's not a lot. There's just 2 or 3 of them, but it's happened to mean that it is possible. Okay? But in a marriage, I think the stakes are higher. But let's get into the point. So can I reconcile with my partner or with my spouse? I think I'll be speaking more towards the married people, but people in a relationship, you can glean some wisdom from this. So number 1 is understanding the purpose of marriage and understanding more so the purpose of your marriage. God has designed marriage to reflect His glory, to reflect His love. As Ephesians 5 tells us that the relationship between the husband and the wife is reflecting the relationship between Christ and the church. And I'm saying if Christ and the church have been married for so long and they will be married until the rapture happens, if the Godhead, the Trinity have been married from the foundations of time and there's no divorce, then God does not expect divorce. And He believes that there's a way that we can stay married once we are mirroring the relationship in the Godhead. Okay? So there is a purpose for marriage, just like individuals, especially as believers. Now, of course, let me just immediately say that it's easier in the general sense for an unbeliever to say, I'm out of here, I'm not doing this. Funny enough, there are unbelievers that take commitment more seriously than believers. I must say that. They just believe we've invested a lot. You are my G, you are my person. And then they stick to it, right? But it's easier still for an unbeliever to say, I'm not doing this because they don't understand the concept of grace. They don't understand the concept of a covenant, okay? So this will tilt maybe more to believers, all right? But stay with me. As believers, as human beings in general, we all have our individual purposes. Okay, so I'm called to be a teacher. You're called to be an artist. You're called to be a kingdom financier. You're called to be a coach. You're called to be in helps ministry, doing charities and NGOs and stuff like that. You're called to be whatever it is that you've been called to. And all of us as believers have these callings individually, but our collective calling is to bring God glory. Our collective calling is to worship Him, is to please Him, for all things were created for His pleasure. Okay? So in the general calling, there are specific callings. And it's the same thing for marriage. Every marriage, every believing marriage is supposed to model the relationship between Christ and the church. But in that general calling, there's a specific calling for your marriage. Now, if both of you have come into that marriage, grown in that marriage, committed to this purpose, convinced that this is the person that is going to make my 2 become 100, my 5 become 5,000. This is the person that is going to help me chase, one would say chase 1,000, 2 would chase 10,000. If you understand that purpose, I want to almost say I promise you that that purpose and the promise it holds over time, over generations, and in eternity is more powerful than the pain of the infidelity. Is more powerful than the pain that you're feeling right now because you have been betrayed. Is more powerful than the trust that has been broken. So if you can build on that, if you can focus on that, sometimes God forbid, God forbid, God forbid, God forbid, in the mighty name of Jesus, I dodge them, I weave them, in the name of Jesus, right? If for whatever reason, my husband is in that situation, will I be hurt? Of course. Will I be a bit confused? Yes, quite confused. Will I ask questions? Yes. Will I cry? Yes. But am I going to leave? I don't think so. In fact, I'm not going to leave. It's hard for me to put it together because, this is not a situation I think about, right? Why? Because we're working towards something. We've been building something for years. And this is my person that God has ordained for me to build this thing with. Where am I going to put our 3 children? What will I shalaye to them? Like, what will the explanation be? I know when you give the devil an inch, he's going to take the whole 9 yards. So it's a lot to keep children and try to protect them and all. But they will get to know as they grow older. It affects their mind. There's a lot going on. All right. So for me, if you, number one, understand the purpose of the marriage, it's harder for you to leave. Number 2, the posture of the one who has broken trust. And this is a very critical part of the journey, the healing process, the reconciliation process, if there's going to be one. If you are the person who has cheated, if you are the person who has broken trust, auntie, uncle, don't go and be raising shoulder. Don't go and be defending yourself up and down. Don't go and be hiding or, trying to explain shalaye excessively. No, you messed up. You broke trust. Your wife is hurt. Your husband is hurt. Your posture needs to be one of remorse. Your posture needs to be one of, I'm sorry. Your posture needs to be one of, God, I need your help. Your posture needs to be one of, okay, what can we do? Are we going to get counseling? Are we going to get therapy? Some people want to clone their spouse's phone. Your level of accountability has to increase. Your level of mentorship has to increase. The posture of the one who has broken trust shows a lot. You don't want to be that partner who has broken trust at such a deep level. This is deep because you are now in a covenant. You've had kids together. You've bonded emotionally. This person has made financial sacrifices for you. This person has made spiritual investment sacrifices for you. And then in one accidental fall, you cheat on them. So your posture needs to be, and don't even be that one that say, I already said sorry now. It's 2 weeks. When are you going to get over it? Don't be that person. Number 3, also the posture of the person who has been hurt. I was going to make this last, but I'm just going to take it together, seeing as we're talking about posture. I have seen couples where on one hand, the party who broke trust is doing everything he or she can, is taking the insults, because sometimes the party who has been hurt gets triggered and they go off into a spill again. All right. So they've taken that. They're going for the counseling. They are being accountable. They are letting you into their phones and all of that. But you are still keeping it in your chest. Everything triggers you every time. and you begin to dangle things over your spouse's head all the time. Now you're in silent treatment. Now you are in who are you talking to? Now you can get your food yourself. Now you're in, oh, no, we don't need to go out together. It's okay, I'm fine. I'll stay at home. You can go ahead. And at some point, the things that you're doing could actually be, in a sense, worse than the cheating that was committed to you or done to you. Especially when this becomes protracted. And so you need to watch that you don't have that posture of punishing your partner, punishing your spouse. If it's something you believe that you cannot do, it's better to release them than to subject them to that jail sentence, life sentence of being punished. Okay, I spoke about accountability and counsel. When something as grave as this has happened, both of you, not just the person who committed infidelity, but even you on the receiving end, because you've been traumatized, you've been through trauma. And we always say it about, if you don't heal from your traumas, you can't have healthy relationships. So yes, it's the person who has offended you, who is a primary in quote counselee in a sense, but you also need to be counseled. You've been hurt, you've been bruised, you've been cut, you're bleeding. So you need bandage, you need some stitches, you need a surgery if it requires something that deep. You need counseling. And this can last for a period of time. 6 months at a stretch. Check-ins after that time. It can be ongoing because someone might take a bit of a longer time to heal and they need that safe space. They need that professional counsel. Spiritual oversight as well to get through that period. All right? Spiritual reinforcement is another thing you need. If for whatever reason your spiritual life had been low, your prayer life low, your fasting life low, your commitment to church low, your accountability to your pastor low, you need to bump it up. You need the Lord to be that fire around your home, that covering over your heart, over your mind. You need it. And then finally, you need to give yourselves time. Hurt this deep will not necessarily go overnight. But you must believe that both of you can get back to a place where you are still in love, where you're still committed to each other, but give it time. So don't be that person like I mentioned earlier that said, when are you going to get over this? You should be over this by now. No, give it time. When the person is showing signs of effort, appreciate that effort and trust that with time, things will get better. This is not a prayer I pray for anybody to go through because you don't want to learn certain lessons in life through going through things like this. But just in case this happens, first of all, pray that you're not the one because somebody is already saying, can never be me. Never say never. If the circumstances are right, if it be you. All right, I hope that with this point, I've been able to shed a bit of light on how you can handle the situation. Remember, you're not obligated to, especially if you are in a relationship. But remember that we are grace junkies ourselves. So if infidelity happens once, give room for that forgiveness and grace. All right? Have a great day. See you in the next video. Follow me on social media. My handles are being scrolled across the screen now. Send me a DM. Let's talk more and let's see if we can book a session together, get to know each other better. Adios.